Thanks for staying with us on the program. We're talking about the political situation in Rivers State. Let's take a look at a communique recently issued at the end of an emergency meeting of Rivers Elders and Leaders Forum that held yesterday in Port Harcourt. The forum, in a way, reviewed the outcome of its previous meetings. They mentioned they regretted that neither Governor Siminalayi Fubara and former Governor Wike responded to their letter seeking for audience with each of them. But right now they are saying that the reasons and infractions of the law in Rivers State is unacceptable. They've also called on the warring parties to maintain calm. They reviewed the demolition of the Rivers State House of Assembly by the Rivers State government. And their position on that is that government should expedite action on rebuilding the demolished House of Assembly complex so that lawmakers will continue the legislative business in the permanent site within the shortest possible time. A former member of the Lagos State House of Assembly, Honorable Segun Olulade, is my guest on the program this morning. You can tell the position of this group, but how feasible is having that complex rebuilt in the lifetime of this administration?
Well, it's unfortunate because I listened to one of the interview granted some of their top people in PDP in Rivers State, saying that the headers of Rivers State have already started taking side and they cannot really come out to even control what is going on over there. And it's very unfortunate. And listening to what they have issued, the communique, that they are talking about not truly, genuinely condemning that act. Because what you read now talks about rebuilding the structure back. And the House of Assembly...
They also condemned the recent defection of 27 lawmakers without recourse to their constituents.
Well, you can see that they have already started taking side also. So what is expected is that the House of Assembly is not also the building. The House of Assembly is a constitution of men representing the people of different constituencies, and with the seal of what we call the mace as the symbol of authority. Once the mace is there, and we have the clerk, and we have members of the House who are elected, then definitely the House of Assembly is sitting.
Well, absolutely. We possibly will have to hear from the court to determine which of the two factions would be recognized as legitimate House of Assembly in Rivers. Yeah. But they also made another recommendation that I think you might agree with. They are saying that the president should consolidate on his earlier intervention as the consequences, according to them, of inaction may not only affect Rivers people, the Niger Delta region and the federal government. They say that the forum owes the solemn truth as a duty to the federal government. Do you agree with them?
Well, I agree with them since they have decided to weigh the entire PDP leadership structure to us, and because they know Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, our president, has the capacity to handle such crises, which he has demonstrated over the years, not only when he became the president of the nation. So for us, I will also join them to appeal to Mr. President. We all know that they have so many responsibilities for him to do as a president of this nation today. And you can see that the man is working hard to take us out of the economic mess that we have today. But beyond that, I believe that he should please yield to the call of the elders of Rivers State and try to bring them together to resolve the matter. When you talk, but there is something I also want to please warn us also against making inflammatory statements, such like maybe the oil pipeline, or there's going to be another insurgence in the South, because the three tribes, ethnics that are in Rivers, the Ekweres, the Ogoni people, and the Ijaws. And because the Ijaws also have Ijaw in Delta, Ijaw in Bayelsa, even Ijaw in Ekpe, where I come from. So they cannot now say that they would have to use ethnicity to stop.
Let's hold that thought for a minute. Let's take Uche's call from Inewi. Good morning, Uche.
Good morning. This is Uche. I'm calling from Inewi.
Please go ahead with your contribution.
Yeah, I think we are playing with everything. We think that everything is all about politics here in Nigeria. But the Constitution has already stated it clearly. The reason why you should defect. That before you defect, that the party will have there will be crisis in the national, that they will not be able to function. For instance, you have a factional chairman parading himself as the victim. But we can listen to the 27 lawmakers giving an excuse that the position of the secretary in the party. That's laughable. And the Federal High Court is now trying to say that to legalize something like this. Once you decamp from a party that sponsored you already you have lost your seat. So it's not everything we play politics with. I don't know. I don't belong to any of the party. Just like the young man is saying that some people are trying to be loyal to this. No, it's not the issue of being loyal to this person or the other person. When you are playing politics, you should know how to play the politics and read from your books. They have lost their seat voluntarily by the campaign.
Uche,
yes, that is the truth about the matter.
I agree that opinions are divided as to the interpretation of, I think it's section 109, subsection 1G, thereabout in the Constitution. And that's why I established earlier that perhaps we need to wait on the judiciary to better interpret what this means, because I know that your position is different from Uche.
Yeah, definitely, because what Mr. Uche have said, there is nowhere that the Supreme Court gave a judgment that it is only a division that have to do with the chairman of the party. A division is a division. Once there is a division at the center, which we have seen clearly, that there have always been a division since the primary of PDP to date. Because since that time, we have what they call the G5 governors. We have even the National Working Committee divided into two. There are some who are supporting Wike, there are some who are supporting Atiku Abubakar. And we have also seen that as I speak today, there are 3 people, until when that is decided by the Supreme Court of the land, there are 3 people still laying claim to the secretariat of the party. And in the local palace, we always say that if there is no secretary, there is no meeting. So if they cannot relate with their party through the secretariat, then there is a problem. You cannot say there is no crisis in PDP.
Interesting. We have news just coming in as regards this. A Federal High Court judgment, we understand, has stopped the Independent National Electoral Commission from declaring the seats of the 27 members of the Rivers State House of Assembly vacant. The court also demanded that INEC stopped INEC from organizing by-elections to replace its 27 members. The court decision also restrained the DSS and the police from withdrawing the security detail of the 27 members. Interesting decision from the court. But, prior to this time, we were talking about what happens when courts of coordinate jurisdiction, give different, positions, interpretation. Yeah. And, the NJC has frowned at this. In fact, some judges, have been sanctioned, as to what has happened. But perhaps in the coming days, we'll see an higher court, perhaps the Court of Appeal and the Supreme Court, giving a determined or a set decision on this matter. Let us talk about what must happen now differently, the way we know it. You know, when governors want to leave office, they are so invested in deciding who succeeds them. But that doesn't seem to have worked. You know, from history, at least, in most cases, there's always a fallout. Do you think that politicians are learning from this development?
Do you know the reason? Because they have decided to negotiate the future and the fortune of the people they come out to say they are representing. If you are representing the people, their welfare, their position must always be taken.
Indeed.
But what we are seeing is the fact that some of them must have negotiated because they want the power by all means. But at the end of the day, when they get the power, they now wanted to use that same power to say no. That's when they now see clearly what they have not seen when they were trying to. So, and it's also called for, it's a moral issue here. There's a moral issue attached to it. If you cannot withstand the heat of the kitchen.
And leave the kitchen.
You should leave the kitchen.
You're saying these people knew what they were coming into.
They knew.
Okay.
So, and that is why I will not support any one of them who decided to go against. If you know, in fact, once you are ready to go against, you should resign and tell the whole world.
Hold that
thought.
This
is the reason I'm resigning.
Hilary has called in from Enugu. Good morning, Hilary. Hilary, are you there? Hilary, you might have to turn down the volume of your TV. We'll get back to that conversation. We can't make do with the feedback coming from your TV. So if you're calling in, just tune down the volume of your TV so we can hear you clearly. So here's the point. I understand your point of view that many of these successors knew who their principals were. They knew how they got into power. But the moment they now become governors, they begin to rethink the... But what does this also say to the electorate? That when you go to the ballot, seeing how these things have played out, should there be some changes in the way we decide to cast our ballot? Because this is a major distraction from governance in the state.
Sincerely speaking, the electorate have a lot of role to play in this matter. We have seen it coming, in several times. We are seeing it happening several times. And I think it is time that the electorate also wake up. And I also want to believe that with what is happening today in our political frame, we have seen that people are coming up, challenging the so-called status quo, and that is the beginning to end that particular scenario. So for me, if you know you cannot abide by some certain rules given to you, say it to the man that, please, I cannot do this, I cannot do that. Probably he will accept or agree with you on those things because he might also need you more than you think you need him. So with that, you have a free hand to operate.
You know, we saw a recent governor-elect kneeling down to the incumbent governor, and the incumbent governor laying both hands on his head.
It's quite unfortunate.
Though
it's from my party.
Based on what you have said, I am just thinking, how does such a man, tell his predecessor that I can't take this? From the body language, it seems like I have submitted everything into your hands.
That's the unfortunate aspect of it. You understand? So for me, I would not subscribe to such issues coming up or such scenario where an elected governor of a state will be kneeling down to somebody else, and they will be filming him. Even if you have to kneel down, go and kneel down inside the room. Don't come and kneel down openly and they will be filming him.
Dr. Emmanuel
has
called in from Port Harcourt. Good morning, Doctor. Oh, I think we lost that call. It would have been lovely to hear someone from Rivers State this morning. But some have said that, well, there's a rich history behind us. The fact that someone kneels and doesn't mean that when he becomes governor, he doesn't have a mind of his own. Will you be surprised if that happens in that part of the country?
He should have a mind of his own, but you should also understand the mandate, the collective mandate given to you. When people give you that mandate, you don't sublet it. You don't make nonsense of it by coming down openly to kneel down to your godfather. Even if you have to do that, please do it inside the room. And don't allow people to film you and show it worldwide, because it's an embarrassment.
All right, we have a caller from London. I didn't get the name. Good morning. Hello, good morning. All right, Olufemi.
My name is Olufemi.
Yes, please go ahead with your contribution.
Thank you so much, It's important and germane to the development of the country. Listen, people are not asking what was the agreement between Fubara before it became governorship of the party. It is very, very important. It's a knowledge and all the conditions. Truthfully, he wanted to stop the case. And he knew the condition are dire with consequences. Why did he
But I think we made sense of what they're saying. What was the agreement between you and the governor?
Yeah, we should know. We should know what they had in agreement in PDP before declaring.
It could have swung either ways. Maybe this is Fubara saying this wasn't the agreement. Is it possible that perhaps after...
know what is the agreement? What is even happening? What's the problem? We are not hearing anything.
Will we ever know? Because
we should know. The people of Rivers State should ask questions. You understand? And that's why I don't like when they bring in ethnicity into this matter. A situation where people are not talking about Ijo, Ikwere, and whatever. Because the man saw an Ijo man and campaigned for the Ijo man. Went around, even when they were after the man, the Ijo man, he was defending the Ijo man. So you should not come here and tell us there is an Ijo, there is an Ikwere.
Let's try to take one more call. Mohammed has called in from Abuja. Good morning, Mohammed.
Good morning. Good morning, Fini.
Good morning.
Yeah, I just want to correct the impression of your guest. We listened to Femi Falana last week on Channel Television, says that Supreme Court has given judgment on any defecting candidate, even which in many of his videos, they give you umbrella, tomorrow you defect. Can you move the vote to other? That is the question he gave. But why your guest is now taking side? There is nowhere they voted you as a PDP member or APC, you now defect and then go with the vote. You cannot transfer vote. Even Femi Falana, he said that the Supreme Court has given judgment on that. And for Speaker in Rivers State, the High Court in Rivers has given judgment that the present Speaker in Rivers State is the authentic Speaker. That is why he got the mind to suspend them. And Femi Falana said again that as far as the members in that house for that time, those whether 17 or 20, whatever, suspended, they have no right to act as members of the House of Assembly. That is why did they run to court and then stop them from conducting elections if they are not suspended? Why did they run to court? That is the question I'm giving to your guest.
I believe you made your point very clear. It's obvious that opinions are divided on this.
Yes,
matter, so
let me even say this. With due respect to Mr. Femi Falana, SAN, he's a great leader as a comrade, and now I know he's also a politician now. But let me be frank with you. There is nowhere, and I challenge...
is a politician.
Yes.
Really?
Yes. Because he has contested. Anybody that have contested before is a politician.
Well, that was a long time ago, though.
He's still a politician. It has not changed. It's
Okay.
still Femi Falana that contested. Now, when we talk about a division, he has the right. He is an authority in law. I am not a lawyer, but I am one of the people who have manufactured the law that the lawyers are using today as a lawmaker. But between me and you, I believe that there is no Supreme Court judgment that says the division has to be with the chairman of the party.
All right.
The division is
I'm
division
sure
at the center.
I'm sure we're going to get a definite, intervention by the judiciary on this matter. Let's try to take this last call from Jos. Good morning, Samuel.
Hello, good morning, my brother and your guest in the studio.
Good morning.
Yeah, this is Samuel calling from Plateau State.
All right, please go ahead. You have 1 minute.
You say I don't like what politicians used to do. They don't act what they preach. If you could look at the politics of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, our president today, when he left office as a governor of Lagos State, he brought people that came governors. He didn't fight them this way. He will wait for you at the appropriate time. Look at Nambodi. He waited for him. He had the power to impeach him. He couldn't do that. Now look at Wike. Wike even fought this same people. Wike even fought David Omahi, fought the former governor of Cross River State, Matawale. I can go on for the defection. So those load makers who defected should lose their seats. It's as simple as that. Thank you.
Thank you, Samuel, for your contribution.
Well, thank you, Mr. Samuel. To be candid with you, for me as an individual, I don't like the aggressiveness of Minister Wike, and I've said it earlier here. I'm not one of his supporters, and I will not support him, but I'm going to protect my own party. I'm going to protect the 27 members who are members.
Who are now members of the party.
Yes.
But whose seats have now been declared vacant?
Whose seat cannot be, and according to the judgment that you just read now,
yes.
that seat
another federal high court.
Another federal high court. That seat cannot be declared vacant.
Exactly.
And until otherwise.
We all are frowned at getting...
So 4 people cannot declare 27 people's seats vacant.
Exactly the point I'm making, that
it's not going to be.
Even the NJC has frowned at having, conflicting judgments from courts of the same, different high courts coming up with different versions of their stories. Perhaps we'll hear a superior court's involvement.
I hope so. I hope so.
Interesting days ahead. It's another new week. Do you expect any big news to come from Rivers this week?
Well, I expect that Mr. Fubara, the executive governor of Rivers State,
will come to your party.
Will repent and come back to our party because he worked for Mr. President, and we appreciate him for that. Yeah. So the two of them that are fighting, they all work for us. So we cannot take side. We cannot say, but we will always take side based on principle. And if any member of the party is being withdrawn, the party must be able to defend such an individual, and that's what we're doing.
Honorable Segun Olulade, former member, Lagos State House of Assembly, thank you so much for talking to us.
Thanks for having me.
Interesting.
Of the season to
Absolutely. Interesting days ahead, and we'll be here to bring you all the updates from Rivers as we follow that story very closely. I am Nifemi Oguntoye. Do have a great day.